There, welcome to Coding Results. My name is Akash Verma and I am senior Android and Flutter developer with 7 years of experience. So today we will start with the enums, then we will see the polymorphism. So this will be covered in one lecture, and classes and Dart inheritance we will cover in the next lecture. I have also uploaded this on the GitHub page, so you can find it here. GitHub. So we have this one. So if we go here and see the Flutter course, it is public, rest of the are private. So in the Flutter course you can find the async await. I forgot to create a branch, separate branch for each video, so that you get exact same branch. So I will modify it and make it a branch for this one, async await class. So you can check out directly a branch and run the code, or you can simply copy this code from here and add it in the Dart pad and run it there. It will work there also, because there is no material imports, so everything is Dart core. There is no need to add any external packages. So let's start with the enums first, then we will see the polymorphism, which kind of things are supported in the Dart. So here we have planet types. Simple normal enums are like we can define some types. Like planet type, we have 3 types of planets. Similarly, if we go want some extra variables, we can create variables also and functions also inside the Dart enums. So we have these 2 variables and a constructor to create these variables. Then we have a print function. So whenever a new enum is created inside this fruits enum, then we call the constructor, like give it a name, like what we are missing here. We can add apple is already there. So jackfruit, let's add jackfruit, Fruit, jackfruit. So we have added a name, and what is wrong with this? So let's add jackfruit, and its color is I don't know, yellow or green. Green is the color. Okay, so we have added sorry, comma is missing. Okay, so we have created a new enum. We named it jackfruit. We passed 2 parameters. One is for the display name, another one is for the color. So whenever we can define like this is like typical use case is like we create enum for status, enum upload status, and then we make success, failure, in progress. Then we also have some variables like final string display name and final string, sorry, not color. We can have a status code, and here we have this one. Here we have, what is wrong now? Oh sorry, we don't have constructor yet. So let's define a constructor, upload status. So whenever we create a new status, we make it a success, and both are string. Let's make it int. That one is for the success and for the failure is 0, and in progress for like -1. Okay, so this is the typical case that we use inside our like apps, where we need to display the status also, and we need some code also to manage, like to send it to the server, or some drop down values. Like we have a drop down where there are 3 cases, like let's say we have, like let's say someone wants to pick a color, so we can define colors here. So red, blue, green, and each color has its own status code or something, so we can define it here. And for the display purpose, we need to show the string, so we can have a display name also. So this is the most typical case that we use in the production apps. So mostly we use in the drop downs, we use in the status codes. So this is the thing. So let's say we create a e-commerce app, and we have a lot of status like order submitted, or pending, created, success, completed, delivered, kind of thing. So we can have enums for each status, like pending, processing, completed, delivered, cancelled. And to show it to the user, we can display the label or display name, and to match with the API's response, we can have a code, so that whenever we get a new order, we match the status code and create a function to get the match the status code and get the enum. Let's say we want to find the value of 0, like display name for the 0. So we have UploadStatus dot int values, or entries values, list of UploadStatus, and where a is equal to dot status code is equal to 0. Or so first where, like this, so it will return a status from this. So final status, like we will have complete status, then we can access the display name also, and we can access the status code also. So for displaying to the user, we can use this. For API and related thing, we can use status code. So this is how we define and use the enums inside the our production apps. So another, like in for the fruits case, if we want to print everything, so banana print fruit and fruit dot color, we created a function also. So for finding the particular enum, we can create a function also. So another is where a in fruits dot values, then we can use it as a for each, print every status separately, like display name. So this is a typical use case, and this one is little bit complex because let's put it above and understand it little bit. So it is a enum, and another enum is its parameter. So we are creating a string here. Planet type is a data type, which is also an enum class. So it accepts another enum as a parameter. So we have its constructor and type is a planet type. So we pass these 3 types. Also we can add a display name for each and a lot of things. So this is the how we use enums in the Dart. So let's move to the polymorphism. Let's cover it quickly. So we can start with the Flutter. So we have mainly 4 types: method overloading, operator overloading, method overriding, and these 2 things are almost similar, kind of like little bit different in the implementation side, but they have for the same purpose, like abstraction. So it is a part of polymorphism also, and its implementation is like here, and its declaration is on the inheritance side. So here we have static polymorphism like compile time, we have runtime polymorphism, which will be decided on the runtime when code gets executed. Like in Java and Kotlin, we can define functions with the same name but different parameters. So that is method overriding, that we define two functions with the same name, just one have one parameter, another have two parameters. So this is method overriding, that same method has can be defined twice, provided that we have unique parameters in each same name function. So but it is not supported in the Dart, so we don't have this one. Method overloading is not supported, sorry, method overriding is supported, and operator overloading is also supported, and this is also supported. Only thing that method overloading is not supported, that method should be method name should be unique, whether they have same parameters or different, it doesn't matter. So in the Dart, this is the case. So we will see first example with the method overloading, not directly supported in the Dart, but can be like simulate overloading kind of feel by defining the positional parameter. There are two ways to define optional parameters. So first way is adding it in the list type brackets. So they are called something, I not able to recall them. So these are the curly braces where we can also define the optional parameter. These are the list braces where we can also define the optional parameter. But difference is, let's say we make here we have one parameter, but in the calling side we are not passing any values because we have already provided a default value for it. So whenever we define something with the inside the list and give it a parameters like name or string, integer, anything, any kind of parameters, they are called like this, without, like they are not named parameters. But when we make them in the angel braces, curly braces, they become named parameter. They can be accessed, like passed using only name. If we remove this from here, it won't work. But we are not adding any like named parameter here, because we can directly pass them. So it is called optional positional parameter, that position is fixed. If we have, let's say, another name like last name, then if we pass like this, it will work. The sequence cannot be changed, we cannot skip this one. If we do this, it will simply assign this value to the first one, not the last one. So this is the, like, let's make it a string, that will be more clear. Like we can have contact. Okay, so here we can define some values, or like this. So here we are, let's say in this, if we pass a number, it won't assign this number to this one, because we need to pass the first one also. So we cannot skip the position. If we are defining the second one, we must pass the first one also. Otherwise, if we don't pass it, it is okay, because both have default values. If we don't give it default value, it will complain. It won't like run. It will complain that in these declaration we must give it a default value or make it null, so that default can be null. So this is the way with the list parameters, like optional positional parameters. They are called positional parameters, they are called named parameters. Both are optional. If it is null, then we can we don't need to pass any value. If it is not null, then we must give it a default value. With this, we have, this is first thing is named parameter. We have named. Without name we cannot pass. In this we can skip the let's say we have contact also, and instead of this we can simply pass the contact. It won't complain that name is not given. even the in above case we are defining the default value for both, but it is not complaining because we are saying that you assign this value to the contact, and whatever value has been assigned by default to the name, use that, so it is fine. So with the named parameter we can change sequence also, and we can also, if you don't want to give this default value, let's say I don't want to make it null also, don't want to give it default value also, then we can add required keyword and it will work. But here each time we will call this, name should be passed each time. So name is equal to some string and this, so like this. In this case, if we don't give the default value and try to add required, it will complain that required is not cannot have modifier required here, so we cannot place required in above case. So this is the case with these two. The method overloading, this is how we can simulate the method overloading, that same function can have multiple parameters and we can make them some parameters optional, so that we can call it like in unique ways. Let's say this function has a name, this function has name and contact also, so like this. Then we have operator overloading. Next thing is operator overloading. So in the Dart we can have, like, this is a simple class, it has two variables x, y, and it is a constructor, and we are defining a custom operator on this, that whenever we use two objects with the plus, just simply plus x with x and y with y. So let's see how we can use this. So here we have created an object of point class, it is another object of point class, and both have like different values, and we can simply call this plus 1, so it will plus x and y. So if we remove this thing, see, this won't work, it is saying that operator is not defined for the point. So this is how we can use plus in multiple ways. We can add numbers also, add objects also, and I have also created like this is my own class, so we can define the operator for it, this, and we can define multiple functions for this. But let's say we want to add plus operator on any class which is third party or not available in our source code. So in that case we can create extension functions, we can give it here any name, abc, kind of any name will work, because it is a name for the extension like group, and we are defining this extension on the list. We are passing t type because list is also is generic, so we are retaining the generic information, so we are passing this thing. So whenever we add plus operator on to list, it will simply, this is a spread operator in the Dart, this is similar to one exists in the JavaScript, so this works in the same way. So whenever there is something iterable, we can add 3 dots and it will spread the content inside the whatever it is, like if we have row or column or list, it will spread each child inside this. Simply we are spreading both these things. Or another way is that we create a new list and add values of both in that list, so that will be like little bit complex and won't be that won't be recommended, that will not be good case. Like we have a simple way, then we should stick to the simple way. Let's create a list and try to add some list. Final list 1 is equal to 1 2 3 and final 4 5 6. So if we add like this one and this one, we are adding this, so output will be this. So the numbers won't be sum, because we are not adding the sum, we are just writing this, like first spread these 3 1 2 3, then spread these 3 4 5 6. So this will work like this. And we can also make the, if you want to sum the each element to the both the indexes, like from 0 index, sum and add a 0 index. So kind of we can add that functionality also for another operator. So for that, so whatever we functionality want to add on any existing, like if you want to add multiplication or subtraction, division, modulus operator, anything that can be used as an operator, that can be added here. So we have, if we remove this one, let's say remove this one, the plus won't work. Is it defined inside the Dart? Let's run this. Yeah, plus is already defined in the Dart, so we don't need to create our manual one. So that will be for the example that we can create our own, even plus and minus. So this is one example. Then we have seen the operator overloading, then we see the method overriding. So let's say we have a class and it has a function like a speak, it a arrow function, but it is a function. Then we extended this class, created a new class from extending this. So this will be the parent, this is a child. So when we extend something, we have option to override, not mandatory to override. So if we don't override, it is fine. And simply if we print this, let's say disable it for the time and add it here. So if we are not overriding, where it is, yeah, we have created a object from the dog class and assigning it to the animal, because we are extending, so we can make it as a type and assign this. We will discuss it in the Dart inheritance and classes. For now we just want to learn how we can override. When we extend something, there is no like mandate that we must override it. It is optional to override. If you want to, you can. What is the behavior? Let's see. We have extended, we have created object, we have called the function on the speak. So speak is here, so it is saying animal sound. Okay, let's override and see the difference. So let's disable it again and like this. So it will print, where is plus, this one. Okay, so now it is saying bark because we have modified the original method. Now let's make it like this. Okay, this one and this one also, so that we better understand the concept. So these are now normal function. So we have one print statement here, we have one print statement here. If we don't override it, this will be printed. If we override it, this will be printed. Let's say we want to keep both of them, so we call super.speak. So first this will be printed, then we are calling super.speak, so the parent class the speak will be executed. Let's see the output first. So the bark is printed first because this is the first line, then this will be called, so it will print the parent's speak function. So animal sound is, let's say we revert this one like this. Now the output will be reverted. Where is the main? So first animal sound will be printed and the bark is printed secondly. So this sequence matters when we when we work with some like life cycle kind of things, like in widgets, Flutter, we have on close, on dispose, on init. So whenever life cycle is being started, we must call this super first, because whatever is being initialized, let it be initialized, then we will call our code. So once initialization is finished, then we will write our own code. But when life cycle is ending, we are closing the visit, so we override on dispose method. So first dispose our things, then let the system clean its own resources, because if it cleans its own resources, this line might not be called. Like if you get some errors basically, because the function will be called, you might using something or holding some resources, maybe memory leak or something that can happen. So in real example we have here, like when we are overriding this, we are overriding this from this class. We have inside this bool, we have mounted property, we have init state. So here, so we are overriding this. So whatever we will initialize after calling super, because we want to make sure that whatever thing is being done, whatever widget is being initialized, state is being created, let it be created, then we will call our code, okay. So this is the thing. And let's say we want to override on, what is the function, dispose method. So it is saying, see, to do has been added before dispose, so clean the resources then call super, clean the resources then call super. So the sequence matters in this case. Here we are calling like executing our code secondly, first the calling the super. Here we are cleaning our resources first, because we don't want to get like crashed inside the, like whatever is being done here, it might like crack our code. So let's, before system exits, let's exit our code first. So this is the thing with the override methods. Whenever we override, we need to keep these things in mind. So this is the supported using override method overriding. This is how we override. Then is there is another thing is implementation. So we create some abstract class like this. We have not defined the body here. So whatever the thing, it will be extended by, like the circle class is extending the shape. So it must, like for the extend keyword, it must like if we don't add this one, this will complain that you must implement the draw method, because it has no body. So what it will print if you call the draw? So you must give it a body for the abstract classes. If you are extending the abstract classes, this is for that. And if you have a simple class, each class has interface implementation in like no separate interface required, like in Kotlin and Java we have a dedicated interface keyword to create interfaces, but in Dart we don't have that. So each class internally implements interface so that it can be overridden and implemented side by side. So let's say if we use extend keyword, it extends, so it will work. And if you want to implement it, it will work also. Implements, no suggestions, it will work. So each class implements, like has a interface declaration or implementation. So we can implement it also, we can extend it also. Difference is we cannot extend multiple things. Like if we want to extend this one also, we cannot do that. But if we want to implement, let's say shape, we can implement multiple things as long as we override all the methods. So this is the case with the implementation, extends. We will talk these things in the detail when we talk about all kind of, like there is mixin, we have abstract classes, mixing classes, normal classes, there are a lot of things. So we have created this one, we have covered this one also. So work the same way using abstract keyword in Java and Kotlin. So if you have worked with the Java, same thing is here. So this is the basic polymorphism and enums. Only thing left is classes and Dart inheritance. So in the next video we will cover both of these. Then we will start with the Flutter. There are a lot of things that I haven't covered yet in the Dart also. We will see those things when we implement the Flutter. Whenever we use something new, we will discuss. So rest assured and stay tuned. Thanks for watching.